you? Good. How are we doing? You too? Not so bad. We're good. We're good.
What are we thinking today then?
You need to be better than good.
Yeah.
You need the gaffer.
There's, look, 5 runners. Brian's going to line up. I'm going to line up outside him. I'm going to drop my hands, let him go down, jump the first, and after that we'll just sit and try and jump away wherever we can, whether it be whether I'm in front or whether I'm second or third. But I just want to get him out the gate and get him to jump the first and go from there, I think.
What did Brian on?
Mass Crusader, remember the horse that ran against Diamond and them at Musselburgh? I'll just line up with him and...
No, I just... Isn't that right? He's... No, what's nice is he holds it.
Yeah.
So it'll be nice, you know.
Yeah.
But, I mean... I don't know. You rode
Yeah.
scooters.
Yeah. No, so
I think we're doing the right thing.
Yeah, no. Look, something needed to change, didn't it? Yeah, no. Something needed to change. So, look, 5 runners. The ground should be lovely. It's lovely and soft ground. Well, it's heavy ground, but it's wet, like, you know what I mean? So they're getting through it a lot better. So, look, he's, I suppose, in a hole, he's probably been disappointing, so something needed to change, didn't it? So,
Has he got confidence? Has he got confidence?
I screwed him the other day and he jumped fine. Yeah, he jumped fine. So hopefully if we go, we'll just line up and then go and jump the first, and then wherever we land I'll sit and just try and get into a bit of a rhythm from there. Alright?
Good luck.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Better in the main, I thought, last time out at Musselburgh, back to this trip, until he then belted the last and got rid of. I gave Brian Hughes absolutely no chance. He's up £1 for it. He's got the cheek of his jumping, Gordon. Slow and heavy ground here as well, a slight question mark for him as well. But you just wonder if he's maybe just taken a little bit of time, and perhaps, you know, this might be 3rd time lucky for him. But if you have backed him, he's going to be a bit of a white knuckle watch, I think.
A minor upset as though with Nety or Duty Calls.
Well, they've both actually shortened in price from what they were trading, certainly last night, both of them quite markedly. Nety will certainly go on the ground, but he does have something to prove after 3 low-key runs this season. He didn't shape any better really on heavy ground at the scene of his hurdles win last time at Wetherby. He's back over fences here, and Duty Calls is, you'd think, likely to, should make it as a chaser.
And they're off for the follow at Racing TV on Instagram Novices Handicap Steeplechase, and it is Nety Well along with the grey Mass Crusader. Those two make the running, and they are ahead of Paddy the Horse with Champ de Gain in 4th place. The back marker early is Duty Calls. So they'll take the first bend before they get to the first of the 12 fences. They're turning in now, and it is Nety Well and Stephen Mulqueen from Mass Crusader, with Paddy the Horse about 3 lengths further back, followed by Champ de Gain. They're jumping the first now. Over the first, Nety Well just a little on the slow side in front at the fence, but nothing serious, just popped it. Nety Well from Mass Crusader coming on towards the ditch, and Mass Crusader there made a mistake on the inside. So it is Nety Well, Masked Crusader, Paddy the Horse, as they come on towards the next fence. Champ de Gain, big white face on the outside, and then Duty Calls. One more fence to jump on this circuit in the driving rain. Really filthy conditions. Nety Well, Masked Crusader, coming towards the last fence this time round, and on that occasion it was Nety Well who out-jumped Masked Crusader. So Masked Crusader's made one big mistake, one small mistake down the straight. Masked Crusader being followed by Paddy the Horse, Champ de Gain on the outside in the green jacket, and Duty Calls gives them stars as they go into the bend. So moving on to the back straight, 4 fences to jump over on the far side, and it is Nety Well who is in front. Third start over fences today. Masked Crusader, who unseated at the last, when last seen, is in second place. Chasing debutant, Paddy the Horse has been in good form over hurdles with 2 straight wins at Hexham's. Just in behind him in the black and green jacket. To the outside is Champ de Gain, Daryl Jacob, and Duty Calls remains in last place. So they go on down the far side. Bit of a run between fences 4 and 5. And as they go towards the 4 fences down the back, I'm going to omit the first of those, which is normally taken, is Nety Well by half a length to a Masked Crusader, Paddy the Horse on the inside of Champ de Gain, and then Duty Calls, only 5 lengths covering them as Nety Well journeys on to this plain fence with a length advantage over Masked Crusader. Nety Well, Masked Crusader was totally out-jumped there, Masked Crusader, by both Paddy the Horse and Champ de Gain, who moved alongside Nety Well. So this is a ditch. Come into the ditch. And there it was Champ de Gain wide of Nety Well and Paddy the Horse. Masked Crusader drops to 4th. And last of all is Duty Calls. And we're at a plain fence. And Paddy the Horse down. Paddy the Horse has fallen. And this was his chasing debut. He was in form coming here, but Paddy the Horse out of the race at that fence. One more fence to take down the back straight. Nety Well and Champ de Gain at this one now, and Nety Well was totally outpointed in the jumping department by Champ de Gain. Champ de Gain and Nety Well, Masked Crusader and Duty Calls on the run now towards the turn into the straight as they head now towards the turn in with 4 to jump, and it's Nety Well on the inside running rail, Champ de Gain to the outside. Masked Crusader is 3 wide as they approach the turn in to face this last line of fences. 4 to jump. Duty Calls continues to spy the others, so it's Nety Well for Lucinda Russell, Stephen Mulqueen leading Champ de Gain by 1.5 lengths. 4 out. Nety Well, Champ de Gain back in behind these Duty Calls, and Masked Crusader now just coming under a ride as they head down towards the open ditch. Nety Well chased hard by Champ de Gain as they come to it. Nety Well came up big and bold. Nety Well far side from Champ de Gain, and then in behind that one is Duty Calls. Masked Crusader well beaten and is now being eased down. This is the second last. Nety Well, Champ de Gain won't go away. Duty Calls back in third. Masked Crusader was pulled up before that fence. One more fence to jump. Nety Well at the moment galloping on with this lead of about 4 lengths now for Champ de Gain, so extends the lead. Nety Well at the last. Nety Well over it. A poor jump from Champ de Gain in second place. Duty Calls in third, but it's Nety Well who's going to win for the first time over fences. Third start, it's a winning one. Nety Well goes on to collect. Nety Well, he's down to win. Champ de Gain holds on to second place, followed in by Duty Calls, the only other finisher in third.
Nety Well then in the colours of the county set 5, who are some really good horses down through the years. Lucinda Russell, a winning trainer, Stephen Mulqueen on board, Champ de Gain, who'd helped force the pace with Nety Well for so long, finishes in second place, Ed, and Duty Calls take third. He's a winning hurdler. This was his first win over fences at just the 3rd attempt.
He was a horse whose sole win over hurdles came on heavy ground, Gordon, and I think he's been well suited by conditions, but he's also the change in tactics as well, ridden much more positively this afternoon. Don't think that necessarily did any favours to Masked Crusader, but his jumping just leaves plenty to be desired at the moment. I thought Champ de Gain went through the race well enough, but he perhaps found conditions too tested, and Nety Well given a really good ride off the front end as handle conditions better than anything else.
Good news.
Another winner for coming back in, number 4, Nety.
Thank you. Well done, son. Well done, Stuart. Well done, Nety. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you, Messiah. Thank you. Well done, son. Jumped off. Thank you, Jimmy. And we down the middle over the first one or two, and then we turned down the back. I was hacking, absolutely hacking, and I thought, you know what now? I turned down the back and I just threw the reins up in his neck. But we jumped two down the back and the boys swarmed around me, and I thought, geez, it's a long way home on this ground, and I just thought, I'll just sit and jump away. And he came off the bend into the straight, and he just picked up, and I thought, I'll just sit against you now. That's good. I showed the range at him, he hacks away, but you know what, Scoot? Ground. Yeah, where did you buy him? Lead the tank, yeah. No, tank, Messiah.
Nety, well, the winner of the first chase here at Ayr this afternoon, ridden by Stephen Mulqueen, who joins me now. He did enough power away up the home straight.
Yeah, no, that's the horse we thought he was, to be honest. He's been disappointing this year on a whole. Over fences, Bangor one day I thought he'd win, and he never picked up, and then he had to go over hurdles last day and he never fired. So Scoo said, Scoo's riding him out at home, so Scoo said we changed the tactics so we'd make the running, and he was right.
Would the ground help? Because I know he won over hurdles on heavy at Wetherby, and you were on that day.
Yeah, he wants real wet ground. He's been running on soft ground, but it's been sort of dead. And I knew coming here, I went for a run round and the ground was wet, and I did think it'd suit him definitely.
And 2 miles doing your own thing, he'd probably stay a bit further, but you and I have just discussed it, it's not a stamina-laden pedigree, is it?
Yeah, no, and probably the way we're riding him today would suggest he'd maybe get a little bit further. One time we were holding him up, but he's kind of in front and he's having a look and he's breathing and everything's coming a little bit easier to him, so he might get a little bit further, but I wouldn't go changing it just now.
No, and as we always say, I mean, that will have done his confidence the world of good, because he hasn't had that many spins over fences.
No, and on a whole, he's probably not actually had that many runs, you know. He's still young and inexperienced, and he's a nervy sort of character, so that will have done him the world of good for his confidence. Yeah.
Give me one moment in time when I'm racing with destiny. Then in that one moment of time I will feel eternity. I've lived